Hello everyone, this is Gian Piero. This is video 2 of my project, my personal project to write my memoirs. And I've asked friends and family who have known me for a while to ask me questions. Today's question comes from Candy, and Candy asked me, why did you serve a mission? The short answer is, I really wanted to. I grew up hearing about my uncle Jose having served a mission. He was my father figure. And then when my older brother Giovanni turned 18, he also served a mission. So I wanted to be a little bit like them. So it only made sense. I grew up in the Latter-day Saint Church. I kept all the rules. I behaved. I hardly ever got in trouble. And once I became old enough, around 18, I talked to my church leaders and put in all the paperwork. And soon after, I got my mission calling, and I ended up in Texas. McAllen, Texas was the name of my mission. And I went because I saw the example of my uncle and my brother and some other young men who had served that I've heard about since I was a little boy. So I felt that it was almost as a rite of passage, a step into manhood. So to me, it was just like, what does a good young man do? And to me, it was, you do that. Because the next step would be marriage. And having grown up without a father, I grew up with this notion that I never wanted to be like my father. So anything that I could do that was different from my father and was what I thought at the time, the good, anything that my father didn't do that I did, then that would have made me into even a better person. And as soon as I was old enough, I served the mission and I went to Texas. And I've got to say that those 2 years were the easiest 2 years of my life. And this is why. They were easy because we had rules, we have guidelines, and we had a schedule. And as long as you kept all those rules, those guidelines, that schedule, life was relatively easy, and it was, you followed the recipe and you were happy. If you did not, and then you deviated from all those rules and regulations and guidelines and respecting your missionary companion, then you were miserable. And I was lucky that I was always, for the most part, in the side of happy. I did everything I was supposed to, and those 2 years went by really fast. Uh, as always, I've had a difficult time learning, and there was a lot of reading involved while I was a missionary, and that costed me a lot. I had a difficult time remembering the missionary lessons or discussions. Uh, and yet I was lucky that I met a lot of people who had a lot of audio content. They had the scriptures in audio tapes, and they had some church scholars who had written books and given lectures, and especially one particular elder. He had this collection of speeches given by this BYU scholar. His name was Truman G. Matson, and he had taught religion and philosophy at BYU. And oh my gosh, I listened to those audio tapes a lot. And then that made me a little more sophisticated. I was able to talk to people about the Old Testament and the New Testament and the Book of Mormon. Truman G. Matson was known for his expertise. He was an expert about Joseph Smith. So I had stories for days, and I had all this knowledge. Uh, even to this day, those resources, those stories, that knowledge that I have from scriptures are from listening to a whole bunch of audio tapes when I was a missionary. So I don't regret any of the time that I spent as a missionary. It was quite easy. You did the right things and you were happy. You didn't do the right things, you broke the rules, or you didn't respect your companion, and you were miserable. And though that's my story, I really liked it, and it was a great rite of passage. It was a step into manhood. It was it was something that I wanted to do, and I saw my uncle do it, or I heard of my uncle Jose do it. He was my father figure, and then I saw Giovanni do it, and I told myself, hey, that's what a good man does. You go on a mission. So I did, and I enjoyed it, and that's it. I hope I answered the question to the best of my. I did it to the best of my ability, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.